The new Google Antigravity update is here, Antigravity 2.0, new standalone desktop app, and it's basically a way to orchestrate multiple agents. And yeah, this is going to be more of a first impression. Let's just jump right into it. Basically, going to be very interesting. I think they're moving more towards the codex world of a super app, which we'll see in a second. Also, I'm going to be giving you an agent operating system that you can use with any agent so that your projects can be built faster and more efficiently. So let's get started. This is what you see when you already have Antigravity installed. Basically, it's telling you that you can update. If you don't see this screen, you might have to go to the top right in the IDE and actually ask it to do the update. We're going to sign in now with Google and we will come back to this screen in a second. So once you authenticate, you'll be able to show them if you wanna share your data and stuff like that. You're gonna pick dark mode and you're gonna get a few of the things if you want to install them. You definitely want to install Chrome DevTools, and I also want to check out the SDK, and you do want to have some modern web guidance. So this is basically the screen that you see. It looks exactly like Codex to me. This is the new super app design that all of the AI companies are doing right now. As you can see, you have your projects on the left, some conversation as well, history, and any other scheduled tasks that you might want to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new folder, create a new project, and we're going to add this folder. Once you add this folder, you'll be able to start your first conversation, and you can see here the different types of models that you have. Let's see if this works. I'm going to try to give it a command of sorts that is in the Agent OS template, and I basically want to build a small browser game, and it's going to be an agent factory. And it's just a simple game where the player manages AI agents across 4 lanes, where we research, build, test, and fix. And we can assign different agents to different tasks. So something pretty simple. We're also going to use 3.5 Flash Medium, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it can work. Something very important that I always like to do in all of the prompts that I do before I start to actually ask it to code anything is we want to say that before it starts, ask me questions that would change the implementation, and you want to ask max 5 questions at a time. So pretty self-explanatory. The good thing about where the agents are right now is that it has every single context of every file. When you're in this template and you want to start any project, you can basically have it read everything, ask for any sort of questions, and you can add that command without even having to add it as one of the skills. So as we can see, we are having some selection here. It's recommending some options too based on complexity. So right now we're going to go with the recommended for the sake of this demo. And then we can kind of start getting into the UI a bit. Let's dismiss some of this. We're going to also toggle the sidebar. And already we start seeing a bit of a different type of workflow that our Antigravity gives us, which is the implementation plans. Basically on this right side, you get to see these files that you can talk to the agent as it's planning. We can leave any comments that we want, which is great. I'm going to let it run with this implementation plan because I really want to see what it gives me back. In a second, we're going to look at the files that are in this operating system for agents. And basically, it's structured in a way where as the agent is planning and completing tasks, it's able to actually mark everything, and it keeps its own memory for each project. And it will be very useful for you because then you will basically have a history of every single thing that has been done in this project. So it's asking us for permission on some stuff. Let's go ahead and have it always allow. Okay, let's check this out. So this is the agent factory that it built. It is a full mini game for orchestrating agents. Very vibe coded. Obviously, we'll have to do a lot more to the UI. But let's see, we're going to start in right now. And we can basically see this sort of board here for research, build, test, and fix bugs. And you can also click on stuff and it's just going by itself. You have some sound preferences as well. So obviously finding some issues already. They're moving across the board, went through this simulation of a game. And again, this is all hard coded. There isn't any sort of actual connection with any of the agents. Eventually, what you could do is you could actually plug some agents to this and have them run through specific tasks and then see as a sort of game to see who fixes it and how they fix it, which would be a really cool idea, I think. But as you can see, built the initial part, and let's see how long that took. I think that really only took about 4 minutes to build in total. Looking at it now, it actually took 1 minute to build. So that was very fast. We are using 3.5 flash medium. So something very cool that is also in this type of workflow that is different from the IDE. We can start a new conversation here, and now we have this new fresh instance. Another type of command that you can use inside this template for the agent OS is goal. And goal is now in every single CLI and every single agent application. Keeping it very simple, we want to build a content repurpose spinner. This is just for the purpose of testing out this model, see how fast the 3.5 flash model is. And same thing, we're going to have a read from the agent OS workflow. It's given us another content repurpose spinner project plan. And so here we have all of the information. And so for the project brief, this is one of the files that we have in here. You can see that it fills out all the information that is pertaining to your project, which is really great because now anytime that you make a change, you don't have to go in and ask it every time. It remembers exactly what you want and it will go and find that line and change it. So in this case, it didn't ask me to approve by clicking a button. What we can say here is just approved. Another cool thing that I like about Antigravity is that it doesn't just give you an implementation plan, it also gives you a walkthrough. So you get to see every single thing that it's done. This works really well with the template as well because you have planning, it keeps tracks of all your tasks, and now with Antigravity, you can also get a walkthrough of what was done. So here we go. This is a content repurposing tool. You have different types of repurposing for whatever you want. Let's give it something to repurpose. Here we go. So I'm going to paste here a full article on vibe coding, and we're going to then be able to automatically see how many words, how many characters, how long it would take to read this entire article that I just pasted. And we have a couple of options here. So we want to be able to change our tone. We want to see our audience as well, and maybe our action here. And that was pretty cool. I like that little animation. And as you can see, we have all of our repurposed content. This is super fun and very useful as well. Created a Twitter thread, also the LinkedIn post, which is very useful. We have a script as well and a newsletter. Then here you kind of have your history. So let's walk through this operating system for agents right now so that you see how you can use it to get your projects to the next level. I want to walk through what this Agent OS template will be. I want to show you what you're going to get in this template. This is going to be a ready to go space for you to be able to get a real project started. You're basically going to talk to this folder every time that you start a project, and it's going to make building a lot easier. So let's walk through what's included in this template that you can get for free in the link in the description. First of all, we have the command center. This is basically all the context that the agent is going to have about your project. It's going to be goals and constraints, what the audience is, what kind of decisions it needs to make. We're also going to have tasks. The agent needs to stay on top of what tasks it has. So this is going to be like a queue that it's going to create for itself, and it's going to be able to follow along in case there's any blockers or something changes with the status of a task. And then it's going to have some sort of self-review. It's going to also have background work tasks that are very useful as well, just to make sure that you can continue having checks for bugs or any dependencies that are missing, also creating some sort of changelog for itself. And also some agent plugins, which are basically just skills and rules that are going to help the agent be more efficient. This is the agent operating system. And as you saw, it works really well in Antigravity. I think Antigravity is great. Another thing that I'm going to leave in the description as well is that content repurpose tool that we just saw. That was Antigravity 2.0. The next thing that I will cover in a different video will be the Antigravity CLI, which is the new terminal, and it will be replacing the Gemini CLI. So I will do a separate video on that because I do want to dive more in depth and also create another set of templates and skills for you that you can use with the Antigravity CLI. So I hope that you found this useful. Please like and subscribe. I will catch you in the next video.